This is where the fun begins, okay? So it's basically the same as the 95 assignment, but we're losing some numbers. Things are turning into letters, all right? So very useful stuff. Saves a lot of time and a lot of work if you can manipulate this stuff. It's also harder to use a calculator when there are variables. So let's start with number 1. Substitute the given values into the formula and solve for the unknown variable. If necessary, round to 1 decimal place. So we got S is equal to 4LW plus 2WH. No. Consistent colors. 4LW plus 2WH. S is 500. L is 11. And W is 10. Let's solve for the unknown variable. First off, what is the unknown variable? Well, we know what S is. We know what L is. And we know what W is. So we need to solve for H. What is this formula, by the way? 4 length times width plus 2. I think this is the volume. Oh, it's probably surface area. Yeah, surface area of a rectangular prism. You're gonna have 4 sides, and then you got the top and the bottom. Or I guess you switch those because of the variable names, but that's what we're doing here. And we know the surface area is 500. We know the length is 11. We know the width is 10. We don't know the height. Well, we can find it. So we're gonna plug everything in first. S is 500. They're the exact same thing. So we can replace it. If S is 500, replace the S with 500. Plug it in. Times 4 times L, we know L is 11, times W, which we know is 10, plus 2 times the width, which again is still 10, times the height, which we don't know. And now we can simplify this and solve it just like we did in the 95 videos. So before worrying about solving, simplify each side. 4 times 11 times 10 is 440. 2 times 10 times H is 20 times H. We need to move the 440 over. I usually like to have my variable on the right-hand side, and you could do that. That's fine. Or sorry, I usually like the variable on the left, and you can do that. But it's fewer calculations here if we do it on the right. So subtract 440 to both sides. Use a calculator. That's fine. You're going to get 60 is equal to 20 times H. H is getting multiplied by 20. How do we undo it? We divide it by 20. Now on the right-hand side, the 20s cancel out, and the right-hand side is just an H. The left-hand side is 60 divided by 20, which you can use a calculator and get 3. So we know H is 3. So the height of this prism is going to be 3. H equals 3. I don't know. They don't really tell you how they want you to write your answer. Let's try H equals 3. Nope. It wants an integer. Yeah, I typed this in and it told me, but I pressed enter too fast. So here it just wants 3. There you go. Number 3. This is an important problem because it talks about the difference between an exact answer and an approximate answer. So we're looking for the surface area of the cylinder and the volume. You can use formulas. You don't need to know these formulas. You don't need to have them memorized. But the surface area, let's be consistent and call it S. Surface area is going to be the surface area of the bottom and the top, which is the area, pi times the radius squared. And we're looking at the bottom and the top, so it's going to be 2. Plus the side, which is the circumference times the height. That's 2 pi r times h. You don't need this formula, or you do need the formula, but you don't need to come up with it. I'll either give it to you, or you can find it online. That's our surface area. Let's start with that. And we know the radius here is 4, and the height is 10. R equals 4. And we know the height is 10. So we can use this to find the surface area. Plugging it in, you're going to get 2 pi times 4 squared. R is 4, so we just plug it in. We replace it. Plus 2 times pi times r, which is still 4, times h, which is 10. And now we can just simplify. Order of operations, 4 squared, exponents first, is 16. 2 times 4 times 10 is going to be 80. And just like with variables, all right, if this were 2x, it'd be the same way. It'd be 80x. You multiply the numbers and then multiply the pi's. Keep going. Order of operations says we can't add these yet. We have to keep multiplying before we can adding. 2 times 16 is 32 I. So there are 32 pi's, and we're adding 80 more pi's. So now we have 112 pi's. You're just adding these together. 112. This is our exact answer. I don't care if you write 112 times 3.1415926535897932384626433. All right, I won't keep on going. That is correct, by the way. This is not an exact answer. It's very, very close. It has way more decimal places than you could possibly need, but it's still an approximate answer. I is irrational. It goes on forever. Okay. Our exact answer is this. Okay. And then you can type it into GeoGebra, 112 times pi, and it'll give you an approximate answer. But even if you include all the decimal places, it's still an approximation. So when it says what's the exact answer, it's going to be 112 times pi. You can type pi or click the pi button. The approximate answer, so be very careful to read the instructions. Using an approximation of 3.14. So if we type what GeoGebra has, that's not going to be what the problem is asking for. It wants us an approximation of 3.14. So 351.68. And you could do the same thing for the volume. We're not going to do. We got it. Great. Number 5. A repair company's charge for repairing a certain type of copy machine fits this model. Oh, a linear model. Where Y is the number of dollars charged and X is the minutes on the repair job. Let's write that down. Y equals 81.71 plus 0.89 times X, where X is the price. Sorry, Y is the price, and X is the number of minutes on the job for that repair company. How many minutes would it take for the cost of repair to reach 129.77, round to the nearest minute? So we're looking for how many minutes. So we're looking for an X because X is a minutes. How many minutes? How many minutes X? X is minutes to get a price, which is Y of 129.77. As a side note, we could say a lot of things about this line. We'll talk more about lines later in this class. But this is saying that every job, every repair job is going to cost at least $82, $81.71. And then every minute is going to be an extra 89 cents to that total. Seems pretty low, 89 cents per minute. But I guess it depends on what kind of job it is. But there's this flat fee, and then the fee, this is the fee every minute. Okay. But we're not in that unit yet, but it's coming. All right. Again, a cool, useful thing. So we know Y, right? This is our Y. So if that's Y, well, replace Y with that. That's the price. The price is Y. Again, these are the same in this case. y equals 129.77 equals 81.71 plus 0.89x. We want to solve for x. We want to get x by itself. So I didn't mention this earlier, but when we're solving equations, we do reverse order of operations. So when we simplify, and you always want to simplify first, you do PEMDAS. Once everything's simplified, you go, I don't know what this is going to be. I hope it doesn't sound crass. SADMEP. Great. I was just waiting for it to be backwards and be like some curse word or something. Whew, dodged a bullet there. All right, so that's what we're going to do here. And again, you do parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division is at the same time. The order doesn't really matter. So we need to add or subtract before doing anything else here. We're going to subtract 81.71. Both sides. Oh, I like doing things in my head, but I really shouldn't do this one in my head. Oh, wait. Whoa, Jason, what are you doing? It's not 81.77, it's 81.71. All right, so if we subtract this, that's going to be $48.06. I think. Yeah, great. And now we want the x by itself, so we have to divide both sides by 0.89. Okay, this one's definitely not happening. They'll cancel over here. We'll get that x is equal to 48.06 divided by 0.89. We get 54. Oh, nice. We didn't even have to round. It was a 54-minute job. So, 54-minute job. Let's see if... Great. All right. Let's do one or two more examples. Probably two. These next ones are tricky, so I'll give you two probably. Solve the following formula for x and be careful how you write your answer. Do we know that y is 3mx minus 5b? This is kind of similar to a slope-intercept form, but instead of just mx plus b, it's 3 times the slope, and the y-intercept is negative and getting multiplied by 5. And we're solving it for x. So don't get intimidated. It's the exact same steps as before. Letters are harder, but it's the same thing. Just a weird, harder to see, I think. So we want x by itself. So SADMEP. Everything's fully simplified, so we can start jumping into reverse order of operations to get x by itself. We'll add a 5b to both sides. We want x by itself. It could help also to see, hey, this is the term with x, and these are the terms without an x. The red has to go on one side. Blue has to go on the other side. We need to add 5b to both sides. Now the right-hand side is pretty simple. We are missing 5b. We're adding 5b. We've zeroed out. Negative 5b plus 5b is 0 b's. Unfortunately, where the planet is headed. Anyway, save the b's, right? The left-hand side's harder. What is y plus 5b? That's what we're looking at. Let's write it out. Y plus 5b. That's what we need to simplify. It doesn't. That's what it is. That's all it is. Nothing to do with that. Nowhere to go. It depends on what they are. They don't combine. They're not like terms. This has a y. This has a b. So we can't add them. We could multiply them if we had to, but we can't add them. You can only add things that are like terms. The right-hand side is 3mx. Right, now we need to get that x by itself. what's happening to the x? X is getting multiplied by 3 times m. So we need to divide it by 3 times m. And whatever we do to one side of an equation, we have to do to the other side. The whole other side. So the entire other side is getting divided by 3m. Now on the right-hand side, that's easy. They cancel. We're just left with an x. The left-hand side, let's just leave it alone. It's not really, we're not going to simplify this. This doesn't really simplify. This is our final answer. X is y plus 5b divided by 3m. I typed it in just like I said it, but it's wrong. Right? What I typed in is not what we have written down here. So y plus 5b all needs to be in the numerator. Let's add some parentheses to make sure that it is. There's other ways of doing this as well. You can use the fraction button. Or you can use parentheses. How'd we do? Easy. Not easy. All right. Question 11. Multiple choice. Do I want to do 11 or do I want to do something messier? Let's do 11. Solve it for t. 5t minus 7b equals w plus 5. Solve for t. We need the t by itself. Everything with a t needs to be on one side. Everything else that does not have a t needs to be on that other side. We're going to add a 7b to both sides of this equation. We have negative 7b's. We add 7b's. We have 0 b's again. So no b's left over on the left-hand side. The right-hand side, we had a w plus a 5, and we're adding another 7b. We can write it out like that. It's just no simplifying, because none of these are like terms. That's the right-hand side. Now, t is getting multiplied by 5. We need to fix that, cancel it out by dividing it by 5. What we do to one side, we have to do to the entire other side. Left-hand side cancels, and we get t is w plus 5 plus 7b, all divided by 5. Now let's choose the right answer. W plus 5 plus 7b, all over 5. There it is. Neat. Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck, and I'm looking forward to talking about this with you guys.